I just think the energy in the second half, being communicating on the court, executing the plays we had to execute. I think first half didn't look as good. We didn't know what we were playing, and then second half looked like we did something, and then executed the way we should.
Career high for you tonight in points. What was key to you just being able to find those shots?
I just think being in my spots, executing when I get the ball, and basically that's it. Teammates find me when I was open. I had some easy ones, so basically running my stuff, doing my thing, basically what I have to do, and then just finishing it.
And for the past couple weeks, y'all have been going with these double big lineups, whether it's you at the 4 or Kelly at the 4. How much do you think that's kind of made a difference for y'all, playing those bigger lineups?
For me, I think it's a new thing, being at the 4 position. I believe I can, stretch it for a little bit, being that corner, shooting that corner shot, driving the ball a little bit. But, something new, interesting. It's good for defense, I would say. Offense, we still kind of like, trying to find the way what works and what not. But, I enjoy it, like it's something new and some fun, so why not? Like,
what do you feel like Kelly's sort of brought to this team since he's been here?
A good vet, smart, high IQ, he adapted easy, I would say, big body. So I would say, like classic vet things, smart guy, really smart guy, big IQ.
We talk a lot about the big men tonight, but what about Jose and just what he brings to this team?
Yeah, always. You know how it is. He always brings a lot of energy in the team. Always, always, always. No matter what day it is, night, morning, no matter what, he's gonna bring the energy and like the defensive part, the offensive part. That's the stuff he do. He does it really good. So he pushes us always. Like you gotta track his pace always. He'll look at the ball, he's gonna run. So you gotta track his pace always. So I think that's good for us.
69 rebounds for the team tonight. Early in the season, that had been kind of a struggle. So I'm assuming that was a point of emphasis. Just how good was that to see the success on that side of the ball?
I think we should be like proud of it, but we should do it consistently. The consistency is the problem I think here with the rebounds. But I think going through the season, it gets better, doing the things we gotta do. So it's a good number to have, but I think we still have to work on it.
How would you describe this, this journey through your first season, kind of not playing as much early on, and now getting more playing time recently? What's that kind of been like? Just finding ways to get more minutes.
For me, it was interesting. Being here and then Birmingham and then back and forth. Then getting minutes, not getting minutes. I think that's a part of the journey. The way it all started, being drafted, stashed, working your way through. I think that's the way it has to go. I enjoy it. I'm embracing it. Every time I'm on the court, I really try to have fun. Enjoy it. Because from the place I came from, not a lot of people make it. So I'm I'm really grateful for my opportunities, and every minute I get, doesn't matter if it's late in the game, early in the game, don't matter. So just working on my game, being a professional, staying on the same track, having the same path, I think helped a lot. And then now we just finish the season, trying to get these games, under me and get some experience.
You've also had a career high rebound center. What's it like just going through this journey with them, both games?
For me, it's awesome, seeing us both grow. He really grew a lot. I think he did a lot of things that nobody expected after that summer league, and then coming into the season, being a starter, establishing himself. So I think it's really fun, and I enjoy seeing it every day. Doing when he does his stuff, watching that, it's amazing for me. It's just I like to watch him play and do the things he does good. So I think it's good, to have somebody like that in the same position, kind of challenging each other. We kind of played a different game, but I think that's good, to challenge each other, to be better every day.
Do you think, looking at a game like this, it's interesting because you're both rookies. You combined for 25 points and 21 rebounds with both having different career highs. Do you think that can establish a way that the two of you being young and growing and having energy and slightly different games can provide a big punch from the center position for the future?
I think it's a good thing, to have difference, in the both players, to know what he's going to bring to the team, what I'm going to bring to the team. So I think it's good, to have both sides, He's a really good, block shotter, athletic. I can kind of space the floor, offensive game kind of IQ I think is different. He's still young developing, I'm developing too. Don't get me wrong, but like getting that system, working it out. I think it's it's good. It's a good thing, like to have both different players at the same position, especially young. Then like it's easy, like to put the path. I will say where we have to go for each other. Like he had to do this thing, so I have to do that thing, and if we get in the game, it's always different. And I think that's good. Thank y'all.
There's less turnovers and getting out in transition. First half, I think we had 0 transition points, and second half, I think we had 17 or 19. So that definitely helped a lot. But I got to give a lot of the credit to Jose. Jose was a vocal leader tonight, and his energy really shifted the course of the game.
And it seems like, very early on in these first 2 games that you and Kelly have been able to click on the court. What do you think y'all have been able to kind of mesh as well as y'all have?
Man, I just told him he got vision. He sees the floor. He sees the game to where there are times where I might not be aware of certain things, and he'll just kind of play off me. Or I'll see he's doing something and kind of relocate to a different spot just because I trust his vision and also trust that, he knows when to exploit a mismatch.
And what's it like just seeing, your 2 young centers, Messi have career-high rebounds, Matkovic career-high in points. You've seen them, growing all season and having a night like this.
It's big time. When you're a rookie in this league, you have your highs, you have your lows. So when you're able to see nights like this where you see the fruits of your labor, it definitely does a lot for your confidence. So, Eve, he's been doing it all year. Karlo, especially tonight, that was big time for him.
How's the double big lineup been for you, and what advantages does it give you as an offensive and defensive player?
It definitely gives me an advantage because, especially with KO out there now, if you try to stick a small on him, he's just going to duck in. And he also has a perimeter game to where you can't just sag off him. So, when you have a big lineup and I'm able to get downhill, and when I'm dropping the pass off or throwing a lob, they can finish. So now whoever's guarding them has to make a decision on if they're going to step up on me or just allow me to go one-on-one.
Man, that defensive assignment, you come out, you're guarding Chris to start the game, and most people say, what does Zion do a guard an opposing point guard? But how does that keep you engaged maybe defensively when you have that responsibility, and what's it like being at the top of the defense that way?
I feel like I can guard 1 through 5, personally. Like I said, we're out there with a big lineup, so I feel like I'm mobile enough to, guard CP. But a player like that, you can't just. His resume speaks for itself. He can have an impact on the game probably without even taking 1 shot, or he'll have games where he will decide to be more aggressive with his shot. So when guarding somebody like that, you always got to be aware of how high their IQ is for the game.
As you mentioned earlier, how he was like really vocal tonight. What's it kind of like when he's?
His energy is, I've said it multiple times before in the past, his energy is very infectious because, it just seems like he's all over the court. You feel like you'll see him chase somebody down from squatting down in the corner to closing out on the opposite side to then switching a matchup so he can go guard certain people. And then offensively, his pace. When he pushes the pace like that, it forces everybody else to run, which then creates multiple opportunities, which also led to those 19 fast break points.
Knowing that this is, your post-All-Star break, and you've been having competing for the playoffs, but there's so much with these new guys, whether it's Bruce, whether it's KO, whether it's the young guys who have this opportunity. For you, how are you expanding what your role is as far as in the locker room and getting guys to understand what y'all want to do? And then just your on-court play, are there goals that you've set for yourself down these final 27 games or so?
The goals have been more so a collective thing as the group. From seeing the young guys getting more minutes, seeing Bruce and KO out there getting their minutes, and just building towards standards, building towards what we want to be, so that when next year starts, we don't have to figure it out. We're already there.
I got to talk to Chris briefly, and he said that this summer, he got to be with you and your family. He and his wife y'all went overseas, and that was the first time he had really been around you. But he talked about how dynamic a player you are, and the potential that you have. When you get that respect from the older players, even considering the games that you've missed and the way the uneven way maybe your career's gone so far, is that one also the things that motivate you, knowing that you still have the respect of your peers around the league?
It helps. Like I said, CP's resume speaks for itself, and we did spend some time together overseas this past summer, and I got to give him his respect. He gave me a lot of wisdom, not just on the court but off the court as well, and so funny off the court. Great dude, man. Great dude, but on the court you can see his competitive side really come out, and I mean that's what makes him who he is. But off the court, he's one of the best dudes I've been around.
And just for you personally, how different has the double big stand? Because I guess most of your career you played with four. I guess people would say, but how has it felt weird at times, or has it been super different, or how much of an adjustment has it been?
It hasn't been too much of an adjustment for me. At the end of the day, it's basketball. But I do like it because it definitely shows the trust that the coaches have in me in terms of, being a ball handler, but also guarding perimeter guys for the whole game. So, that's something that I definitely wanted to expand on personally. Just like I said, me and Murph talked about it, just being defensive threats, not just being out there helping the team be good defensively, but individually, being a massive threat.
Does that feel more natural for you to be getting these more perimeter touches, again, and kind of like that being the focus rather than starting possessions, maybe 10 to 15 feet from the basket?
Is it more natural? Honestly, no. There's no one or the other for me. Both feel natural, whether it's up top, 10 to 15 feet, or even posting up. But I think it just depends on how the other team's guarding us. Some teams go big, some teams go small. So I think it just depends on how the other team's guarding me.
Victor, obviously, going for the rest of the season. You certainly understand both number one bigs. What it's like to have a season cut short. What would you say to Victor, and then what do you think that does it remind you anything of your process of being that first round pick and having the expectations, and then suffering this way? That when you really start to feel like you're getting things going.
I mean, it's always disappointing when you're not on the court. I think our situations are a little different in terms of what we have dealt with. Mine was more so injury-based. I don't know the details on his, but that's something that, I've had family members deal with stuff like that, and all you do is can wish that, he gets healthy as soon as possible, and that's not something that slows him down.